On the calm morning of June 19, 2025, a seemingly ordinary day took a dramatic turn when a home security camera captured a disturbing incident on the front porch of a house. At approximately 9:40 a.m., the footage shows a man dressed as a postal courier, wearing a jacket, approaching the front door with a parcel in hand. The scene looked routine, just another package delivery. As the homeowner, a woman, opened the door and received the package, first everything seemed normal, but what unfolded next was unexpected. The man suddenly pushed the woman inside and forced his way into the house. Within seconds, two additional suspects, with faces covered, rushed to join him, clearly indicating a planned home invasion. However, things didn't go as the intruders expected. Inside the home was the woman's adult son, who immediately reacted to the break-in. Recognizing the danger, he pulled out a firearm and began to defend his home. Surprised and frightened by the resistance, the intruders panicked and fled the scene. One of the suspects, the one dressed as the delivery man, ran outside and attempted to block the door from the outside to prevent pursuit. But the son, acting quickly, reached through a window with his firearm and fired at the suspects again, causing even the door-blocking suspect to flee the scene. Then the son immediately came outside, still holding the weapon, watching the direction the intruders fled, likely to report their route to the authorities. Thanks to the home surveillance system, the faces, clothing, actions, and fake delivery behavior of the suspects were all clearly recorded. This terrifying event is a strong reminder that always verify the identity of delivery personnel. Most courier companies send delivery alerts via text or app. Check before opening the door. If something seems unusual, don't open the door. Home surveillance and self-defense preparedness can make a huge difference in critical situations. Thanks to quick thinking and brave action, the woman, her son, and their property were safe, and the attempted robbery was stopped. The footage now serves as critical evidence for law enforcement to identify and capture the suspects. It was a quiet Friday night in Leicester on August 14, 2020. The roads were empty, the skies still, and the city was sleeping. But while the world was still, something was stirring in the shadows. At precisely 3:59 a.m., the front driveway camera of a home captured three hooded figures entering the property through an open gate. The homeowner was away that night, a detail that would prove costly. The suspects moved with caution. Two of them walked toward the home, their movements deliberate, calculated. The third hung back near the gate, the lookout. Their body language was clear. They weren't just passing by. Suddenly, the camera caught something shocking. The two who approached the home forced their way in. Moments later, they emerged with a set of Porsche car keys in hand. But something spooked them. Instead of going straight for the car, they retreated, vanishing from the frame. For a moment, the driveway was still again. Several minutes later, at 4:06 a.m., two of the suspects returned. Confident now, they used the stolen keys to remotely unlock the white Porsche parked in the driveway. Surveillance footage showed them entering the car and rummaging inside, likely searching for valuables. Then, with a silent engine hum and headlights flashing, the Porsche was started and driven off into the night. What they didn't realize was that every move had been recorded: their entry, their faces, their escape. At 4:27 a.m., the footage showed the Porsche speeding away. The next day, the theft was reported. Thanks to the high-quality CCTV footage, police were able to identify and apprehend the suspects within days. This incident is a stark reminder. Never leave car keys in an easily accessible place, even if you're at home, let alone when you're away. Keep gates secured and locked overnight. Invest in motion-triggered, night vision surveillance cameras that cover all entry points. Criminals often look for the easiest targets. A small mistake can result in a significant loss. But thanks to vigilance and modern surveillance, justice caught up with those who thought they could outsmart the night. It was 1:44 a.m. in Chamblee, Georgia, when a minor fender bender set off a shocking chain of events. A sleepy SUV driver tapped the brakes too late and bumped into Alex Bain's car at a red light. No big deal, or so it seemed. Alex Bain stepped out, eyes wild, and instead of exchanging insurance info, he walked toward the other car. Fast, the SUV driver panicked and backed up, but Bain kept yelling, "Don't pull off! Don't pull off!" Then the unthinkable happened. 12 gunshots rang out in the still night. Echoing off nearby houses, captured by a Ring doorbell camera. Miraculously, no one was hit, but shattered glass and bullet holes covered the SUV. Within hours, Chamblee police used their advanced flock license plate readers to trace Bain's getaway car to a Quality Inn. A 6-hour stakeout followed, until on January 23rd, Bain walked out of his room and was arrested. Officers found a fake Pennsylvania driver's license and cocaine with intent to distribute. Bain now faces charges for aggravated assault, weapons possession, property damage, and more. The true hero here was quick thinking. The SUV driver recognized danger and retreated, avoiding a deadly showdown. In our world of cameras and connected tech, every move is recorded, and justice can catch up fast. January 17th, 2025, 11:04 a.m., Engen Service Station, R21 North, Olifantsfontein. It was a regular mid-morning at the Engen fuel station just outside Kempton Park. The sun was high, a traffic light. A silver Volkswagen Polo pulled up to refuel. The driver waited calmly as the petrol attendants moved about in the background. Nothing seemed out of place. Not yet. Moments later, another silver Volkswagen, a Golf, glided in and parked at the adjacent pump. Two men remained seated for a few seconds. Then, as casually as if they were stretching their legs, they stepped out. What happened next was anything but routine. One of the men from the newly arrived car, armed with a firearm, approached the Polo and leaned in, his posture relaxed but his intent clearly menacing. Without drawing attention, he threatened the driver and demanded everything they had. Meanwhile, his accomplice circled to the back of the car and, with startling ease, opened the boot and pulled out a bag, likely heavy, important. He walked off, as though nothing was out of the ordinary. Seconds later, the first suspect dipped halfway into the Polo's front cabin, grabbed something else, another bag, and calmly walked back to his car. In under 90 seconds, it was over. No shouting, no sprinting getaway. They drove off slowly, as if nothing had happened. But something had happened, something very wrong. Perhaps the most disturbing part of the incident wasn't the theft itself, but what didn't happen. Throughout the robbery, multiple petrol attendants moved freely across the pump island. They were mere steps away from the unfolding scene. Yet, not one of them looked alarmed. No one intervened. No one even appeared to react. Why? Was it fear, disbelief, or something darker? According to early reports, the victims had just left Festival Mall, likely after withdrawing a large sum of cash. The robbers, clearly organized, appear to have followed them to the petrol station, choosing the right moment to strike. If true, that would point to a pre-planned one, possibly involving more people than just the two visible suspects. Were the petrol attendants involved? It's hard to ignore the eerie behavior of the staff. No surprise, no panic, no attempt to intervene or even acknowledge the crime. Were they instructed to stay quiet? Paid off to ignore? Or was it sheer shock and fear that froze them in place? Until the station releases an official statement, or further investigation uncovers more, it remains speculation. But in cases like this, inaction speaks volumes. What the robbers didn't realize, or didn't care about, is that every move was caught on CCTV. The clear footage shows faces, clothing, number plates, body language, all now in the hands of the authorities. Their calmness might have bought them a few minutes, but it may also be what gets them caught. For the victims, the experience was terrifying but not physically harmful. For the station, however, this could be a reputational stain that doesn't wash away easily. Whether the attendants were complicit, intimidated, or merely indifferent, one truth remains. No one should be able to commit a crime in plain sight, in broad daylight, and walk away like it's nothing. But on the Engen service station, that's exactly what happened. It was a quiet afternoon. Sunlight streamed through the windows of a cozy two-floor house. Inside, everything seemed undisturbed. The kitchen was clean, the living room neat, and various electronics were visible, laptops, phones, and more. At first glance, nothing appeared out of the ordinary. Then, the unexpected happened. A man in a red hoodie and jeans appeared at the back sliding door. He cautiously looked around and knocked. When no one answered, he peered into the house through the transparent glass to confirm if it was truly empty. His behavior turned more deliberate. He tested the door handle. It was unlocked. With no resistance, he slipped inside. Once in, he glanced into the kitchen to ensure no one was present, then removed his black backpack and placed it on the dining table. A MacBook lay open on the table. He quickly closed it and tucked it into the bag. Keeping alert, he walked toward the stairs, scanned the area for any movement, then returned to grab a nearby phone and its charger. These too disappeared into the backpack. He walked toward the sofa where the laptop was open, and the mobile phone was also there. He took both and again kept them in his bag. Then he moved swiftly but deliberately, checking under the TV cabinet next. Drawer by drawer, he searched until he found something worth taking. Satisfied for the moment, he moved upstairs. In the dim hallway, a room with an open door caught his attention. Inside was another laptop, an easy grab. He returned downstairs, exited the home with the heavy backpack full of stolen goods. But moments later, he came back inside, now without the bag, likely having handed it off to an accomplice. This time his mission was bigger. He returned to the upstairs room and began removing a large LED TV from the wall. As he reached the top of the stairs, he paused, sensing something. Reaching into his hoodie, he pulled out a sickle-like weapon, ready to defend himself if necessary. But no one came. Confident again, he rushed down the stairs with the TV and vanished. But his face, clothes, and every move were captured clearly by the home's CCTV, which can be used for further investigation. This unsettling incident serves as a serious reminder. Always lock your doors, even during the day, whether you are at home or not. Install security cameras in visible spots. They're powerful tools for both deterrence and evidence. Be aware of your surroundings and never underestimate how bold thieves can be, even in broad daylight. On November 28, 2021, a seemingly ordinary day turned into a frightening ordeal for a young mother and her infant in the quiet, upscale neighborhood of Hancock Park, Los Angeles. Captured by a home surveillance camera, a chilling sequence of events unfolded just steps from her home, highlighting the critical importance of awareness in our daily lives. In the footage, the woman can be seen returning home from a walk with her infant in a stroller. She arrives at her gated driveway, opens the gate, and enters the property while affectionately interacting with her child. A moment any parent would recognize as calm and routine. However, within seconds, the unexpected happens. Two masked men appear from outside and slip in before the gate closes. They move quickly and deliberately toward the mother and child. The intruders confront the woman, threatening her and demanding her belongings. Out of fear for her life and her child's safety, the woman complies without resistance, handing over 2 diaper bags and a bottle cooler, the only item she had with her. After grabbing the bags, the suspects flee the scene on foot and escape into a waiting silver sedan parked just across the street. The vehicle, identified from the footage, appears to be a silver sedan with tinted windows. The suspects drive off northbound from the location. Thanks to the high-quality surveillance footage, police were able to obtain clear descriptions of the suspects. Both suspects were identified as male, black, and aged 20 to 29. And one of them was in a light-colored mask, black hoodie, red sweatpants, and white shoes. And the other was in a black face mask, gray hoodie, black sweatpants, and black shoes. Detectives from the LAPD Wilshire Division are actively investigating the incident and have asked for public assistance in identifying the suspects or finding any witnesses who may have seen the suspects or the getaway vehicle. This brazen act occurred in broad daylight, and investigators believe someone in the area may have vital information. Thankfully, the woman and her child were not physically harmed, but the emotional impact of the event is undoubtedly significant. This incident serves as a stark reminder. Always remain alert when entering or leaving your home, especially if your property has a gate or garage. Never assume safety just because you're in a familiar environment. Always close your gate/door immediately upon entering to avoid being followed. Consider installing security cameras and motion sensors for added safety. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and remember, Your safety and that of your loved ones always comes first. Robert was thousands of miles from home, enjoying sun-soaked beaches in Greece, when his phone buzzed with a motion alert. He switched to live view on his Ring app and froze. A masked stranger was skulking near his front door, moving like a ghost in the night. Robert's heart pounded as he watched. The intruder inched closer, hand reaching for the doorframe, oblivious to the silent eye recording every step. Then it happened. The stranger glanced up, spotted the Ring camera's unblinking lens, and hesitated. Fear flickered in his body language. He stepped back and bolted into the darkness. Robert exhaled a breath he didn't know he'd been holding, knowing that without his Ring system, he'd have returned to a very different scene. In this moment, technology became his unseen guard. A simple alert stopped a potential break-in, proving that distance means nothing when security is always watching. On June 27, 2024, in the early hours of the morning, while the city slept, a shocking incident was caught on CCTV outside a ground-floor residence at San Pada. The camera was recording in the balcony area, balloons, a children's toy car, and everything was placed properly. At first, everything seemed calm and normal, but at 4:34 a.m., an unidentified man appeared on the CCTV footage, lurking near the house. He first scanned the area, ensuring no one was watching. Then, he peered into the balcony, spotting what he thought were valuable items, including a children's toy car. Moments later, the man gripped the balcony glass and climbed in, entering the private space. He approached the door quietly, checking if the residents were asleep. Once sure, he began removing a plastic bag from the toy car, likely intending to steal. But in a twist of fate, his shadow fell directly on the househelp's face, waking her up. She immediately alerted the homeowner, who confronted the intruder. The homeowner bit the intruder, and he could not escape because of a twisted ankle. He was caught and handed over to the police. No case was filed, as nothing was actually stolen. Thankfully, no one was hurt, and the property was safe. This video is a strike reminder: never leave valuables on balconies, especially on ground floor homes. Thieves often target easy opportunities, like unattended items or open spaces. Install and monitor security cameras. They can prevent crime or capture critical evidence. Always stay alert, especially during early morning or late night hours. Stay safe, stay aware. Your vigilance today could prevent a crime tomorrow.